So hey besties, come with me and let me show you how we are going to feed my family of 5 with only $20. So they have these cooked perfect turkey meatballs. We're gonna grab a pack of those. Then we're gonna go on ahead and get us some cheese. The cheese is $2.99, but if you go ahead and clip the digital coupon, you can get the cheese for $1.99. So we're gonna go on ahead and grab up some of that pizza cheese, because as you can see, everybody has been buying all the cheese because the cheese has been on sale. After that, we're going to go ahead and get us a head of lettuce. A head of lettuce is $1.99, so we're going to pick one of those up. And then next, we're going to go get us some tomatoes, but we were fresh out of tomatoes, y'all. Them people bought up all the tomatoes, and the ones that was left was like the cherry tomatoes, but I wasn't looking for none of those. Went on over to the bread aisle, and we're going to grab us up a nice piece of bread, and that bread was $2.39. And now we're going to go ahead and check out. So we're going to start ringing up our items, and then we're going to see where we're at in total wise. So we already rung up the bread. Now we're going to ring up the turkey meatballs, and the turkey meatballs was ringing up at $12.49, but when I checked the app, they were $10 and some change. So we're going to go ahead and see. We're going to start ringing up the cheese. And for this particular market, you'll see your savings once you put your phone number in. All of our savings are going to come off at the end, and then we're going to get our grand total. So after we did all of that, we're going to go ahead and start punching in our loyalty number. Once we punch in our loyalty number, we'll get our final price, and our final total came up to $20.85. So the meatballs was $10.79, so we had to go ahead to customer service and have them give us the proper price, and then we was able to stay in budget of under $20. When we went home, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get those meatballs in the pan. After we get those meatballs in the pan, we're going to go ahead and add some pasta sauce that we already had in our pantry and let that start to simmer. Once that starts to simmer, we're going to go ahead and start working on our bread. So you see I got us 11 ounces of extra long French stick style bread. I'm going to go ahead and take that bread and split it down the middle, and also cut the bread in half because the bread was just that long. Once I got my bread ready, we're going to go ahead and put it on our baking sheet. And I just lined it up with a little bit of foil because I know it's going to get a little bit messy with all that sauce that we have. So now that our bread is ready, we're going to go ahead and go check on our meatballs and our sauce. And if they're good and hot and ready to go, we can go on to the next process. While we're doing this, you want to go ahead and cut your oven on and make sure you're preheating your oven so that when our food is prepared, we can go ahead and throw it right in the oven. Now we're just going to go ahead and add those meatballs on top of the bread with all of that sauce and all of that goodness. I also did add a little bit of seasoning to my meatballs and my sauce when I was cooking it. It is already seasoned, but you can add just a little bit more seasoning to bring it to that next level of flavor. Now we're going to go ahead and load up both sides of the bread and get all those meatballs in there, all that sauce in there. And you can add as little sauce as you like, as much sauce as you like. If you like it real saucy, add all that sauce in there, and that bread is just going to soak it up and absorb all those flavors. That's why you want to make sure you use a good strong bread and not a bread that's going to get soft and mushy and it's not going to be able to hold up to the sauce. So now that I got all my meatballs in there, and that bag did come with 20 meatballs, so I have 10 on each side, and I was so surprised that I was able to get all the meatballs on the bread, but also at the same time I was so excited. So we got like 2 double rows of 5 meatballs on each bread. Now that my meatballs are on my bread, we're going to go ahead and add us some cheese. And I originally picked up 2 bags of cheese. I only used 1 bag of cheese. It was enough in there, so I only had to use 1. So definitely could have just got 1, and we absolutely stayed under the budget of $20, y'all. So here I am adding in some cheese, and I like mine's real cheesy. So I'm going to add in all that cheese, the whole pack of cheese. After I got the cheese on there, I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the oven for about 10 minutes, let that cheese melt because everything is already cooked. And this is how it was looking when it came out the oven. And now it is going to time to go ahead and call that man and them kids and serve. Now you can add any other items that you have in your pantry as side dishes to this meal, or you can just eat it as is. It is something that is quick and easy. I was able to get this done in under 30 minutes, and it is definitely budget friendly, y'all. When I tell you this was so good, it was definitely a 10 out of 10. And who doesn't love a meatball sub? Make sure you give me a comment, a like, a follow for more amazing videos.